All right. What is going on? How are you doing? Um, this episode is a little bit different because I'm going to be sharing with you in real time a scenario where I'm being tugged in a different direction and I possibly want to throw the plan out the window and how I literally go through it and how I'm thinking about it so that you can actually you know, get a real time understanding of it rather than just, um, theories and concepts and like, you know, motivation stuff where it's like, you gotta do it no matter what. Like, you gotta sacrifice and grind and, you gotta be determined and all that kind of stuff, which all sounds great. And okay, it makes sense. Like, just get it done. Like, oh, you gotta want it bad enough, and like if you give in to something, then you don't want it bad enough, and I don't think that's true. Um, and I'll tell you why. So here's the situation. I'll break down the situation right now. Long day of work. It's about 8:30, 8:22 p.m. and I just got done coaching clients, and then we had whiskey night. So we have different whiskeys, different times, several times a month. A couple times a month, we meet up after our last class of the week, and we have different board games and different whiskeys from different places. So, anyways, it's been a long day, lots of stuff going on in my various businesses and endeavors and relationships. And I earlier did not prepare my enchiladas, so I made some decisions because I was hungry earlier that used up all the fat that I had allotted for today. So, like, I'll give you my specific targets currently are 40 grams of fat, 200 grams of carbs, and 175 grams of protein. And the plan is to make 6 or 7 enchiladas each day because that is my current chosen um, keystone food of the day, right? Um, Basically, what that means is like that is a food that lets me hit my protein target while keeping my calories low. Which, what that does for me is is always very filling, and then it allows me to have a lot of fun and freedom and flexibility with my fats and carbs, which in general for me is like donuts, pancakes at night, um, and just like treats. Like I like sweet things, right? And so the enchiladas allow me to do that. And I didn't make those. I didn't have those ready for today. So the perfect plan, was out the window. Now this is really the key. And by the way, just so you know, like, what are the macros or the nutritional calorie or content of those enchiladas? It runs anywhere from like 5-ish grams of fat, 40, 50 gram, around 40-ish, 50-ish grams of carbs, and like 80 to 100 grams of protein, right? Which is phenomenal. That's phenomenal calories for a meal, and then on top of that, with something that's so delicious as enchiladas. Um, EnchiladaWorkshop.com. Make sure you go there, EnchiladaBook.com. That actually, the book.com website is not up yet, but it will be. EnchiladaWorkshop.com. And I didn't have that ready, so what the day started off with 1.5 donuts and then a Metrix bar, which has a good chunk of protein, but it has a bunch of fat, and a bunch of carbs. The fat is actually not as bad as the carbs. And then, since I didn't plan the day very well, the time got away from me, and I ended up ordering Panda Express. And I was so hungry by that point where I ordered rice and chicken. And I probably could have made a better decision and not eat that rice because now I already had no more carbs left for the day. I have 100 grams of protein left, no more fat, no more carbs. And I'm actually over on carbs by 20. What would you do? Okay, a younger me, a less experienced me, a more emotional and susceptible to circumstance me would be like, all right, whatever. Like, it's 8:30. I'm starving. I don't want to go home and cook. I'm gonna eat Jack in the Box on the way home, and just my calories are gonna get blown out of the water. And then I'm gonna feel like shit because I didn't follow the plan. Okay. Now here's the thing: as you get better at, and what that would show me is a lack of equanimity. Remember, equanimity is evenness of temper and composure, right? Never getting too high and never getting too low. Being even keeled. Because what that does is that gives you space before you react to something and allows you to make decisions that actually benefit you versus that don't benefit you. And so with equanimity, one of the 3 E's of San Jose Barbell, what I'm able to do is, here's a couple of things here. A, since I'm relaxed and calm and I'm not feeling bad because I'm not beating myself up, I can actually make a decision where I'm like, all right, I have 100 grams of protein to eat. I can drink a 60-gram protein shake, the strong shake, which I love and it's delicious. And then I could maybe eat a can of tuna or maybe like 6 ounces of chicken, and I'm good to go. I'm done. I could do that. That would be fine. But now here's the level to that. Here's the next level to that. I could also go over my calories and just blow myself out of the water, right? As far as the targets go. And then be okay with that. It's not a problem. It only has a meaning when I attach a meaning to it. And yeah, like I used to be just like everybody else, one of the people who would get really upset when I didn't follow the plan. And then when you're upset and feeling guilty or angry or frustrated that you didn't follow the plan, and now you're not getting closer to your outcome that you want, you feel shitty, so then you do something else that makes you feel even shittier. And you see where that goes and what direction that leads you. But instead, I am okay with all outcomes, with all scenarios, and I have equanimity towards all of it, and I have forgiveness for myself, and I have no judgment for myself. I'm not a bad person if I have extra body fat. I'm not a bad person if I didn't hit the target. I don't need to be lean. I don't need to hit these targets. I would prefer to. I would like to. I actually think it's really dope to be very lean all the time. And it's a lot of fun. Which takes out the emotional charge and the guilt and shame cycle and then allows me to make a different decision, right? And I have equanimity and I can make a better decision that is more pleasant, that leads to the thing that I want versus doing things that make me feel worse, right? And it's not going over the calorie targets that's the problem. It's what I think about it and who I'm being while I'm doing it that's the problem. So this is really important to slow down and think about. Like, if I go over, it's not a big deal. But if I'm, because I'm okay with everything that happens. The meaning of any event is based on the what I apply to it, what interpretation and meaning I give it. Because the same scenario for virtually anybody else would result in in the guilt and shame cycle, right? I'm a fucking piece of shit. I'll never be able to lose weight. But the same exact situation for me doesn't have that meaning anymore. And so that's really the big thing is like when you are not feeling good, okay, you're more likely to make crappy decisions. When you are always feeling good and having a interpretation of events that is actually pleasant, it's actually easier to make the decision that allows you to adjust. And that's really the second part of this conversation is like the reason I stay lean all year round for more than a decade now is because I've learned to there's no such thing as a perfect plan, nor do I want to be the person who rigidly sticks to the plan regardless of everything. I want to be the person who can make the most adjustments and fastest adjustments and be able to adapt to every scenario. That's called being anti-fragile. That's called being resilient. Because every day there are going to be multiple things that happen that would basically take your perfect plan and render it useless, right? So very, very important things to think about. And so that's why I'm thinking about this. These calculations happen super fast for me now. They took a long time to develop it, but now I can do this very quickly because I'm aware and acting and I'm being aware at the same time. Being able to have awareness and act at the same time is a skill that's developed and is available to everybody else. At the beginning, what happens is we have to do them separately. We have to bring awareness because our actions are automatic and we don't even know why we're doing them. But if we bring awareness to what's going on and have equanimity and space before we react, we start to be able to slow things down and then eventually make it automatic in the other direction, right? And so that's that. And I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm driving. I'm almost home, and what I will be doing is, I think what sounds good is I'm actually kind of hungry, so I think I might eat the entire 100 grams of protein in chicken. But I'll probably end up doing that breaded because that tastes delicious. So yeah, my carbs will be a little bit higher because I'm gonna have it in flour and in breadcrumbs, right? But that's okay. Like that's all right. That's not a big deal. Like I'll be over by maybe 60 grams of carbs when it's all said and done. But I'm gonna track everything accurately, and that's all right. And then tomorrow we just go back to what we're doing. And try to so tomorrow like one of the reasons that I didn't make the enchiladas because I don't have any enchilada sauce. So okay, most people will use that as a reason to just fucking it's all ruined and throw the baby out with the bathwater and just burn it all down instead of recognizing okay like it's obviously it's very difficult to make enchiladas when you don't have enchilada sauce. So guess what? Let me make it a priority to go on Instacart and order some enchilada sauce so that tomorrow I can prepare my lunch. Very simple. And so, yeah, like I think I'll make some breaded chicken tonight, go over and track everything accurately, not feel bad about it at all. By the way, I really will not feel bad about this because let me tell you, panko crusted chicken is phenomenal. Shake and bake chicken is phenomenal. It is delicious. So good. Um, Yeah, and if you find any of this helpful, as always, find me on Instagram and tag me if there's any insights or things that resonate with you at rambeer.sangera. And look forward to look for the enchiladaworkshop.com. You can go there. I think the link works where you can pre-order the workshop. Um, it's $9. It's not much. And also, a couple of things that I'm currently working on is this month is the enchilada challenge, which basically I'm basically recording and documenting the whole month of how I'm gonna lose the little bit of softness that I put on around my belly over the last 2 months of holiday experiences, and get really shredded again. And by the way, like I'm not like I still have abs. Like if I flex, I have a six pack. And so by no means am I like 40 pounds overweight right now. I have been 40 pounds overweight. So I know what that experience is like as well. But what's really good is I'm going to show you literally everything that I'm doing and how the changes happen and how you can do that while eating delicious food like enchiladas every day. And then I'm also going to document and show all of the adjustments that I'm making day to day, kind of like what this podcast was all about, which is the adjustment that I made when the plan fell apart. Instead of crumbling and not being and being fragile. When you can't adjust and be flexible and pliable, like our pliability podcast a few podcasts ago, if you can't be pliable and adjust, you're fragile. We want to be anti-fragile, and the way to be anti-fragile is to be able to adapt and make course corrections. All right, that's enough for now. Find me on Instagram. Watch me get shredded this month. I'll see you later.